the outcome is, you go from there. So, fucking got me besides that. And obviously, no cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Well, that only applies if you're not in Guantanamo. Guantanamo, they did some terrible fucking things because it wasn't on U.S. soil, it wasn't considered part of U.S. Jurisdiction, so they would torture them motherfuckers any way they fucking wanted. But at least in America, it states that, when you're being held by the police, you're not supposed to get cruel or unusual punishment. Alrighty. Moving forward, number 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be constructed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. I think the best that I can understand in that is that one right isn't supposed to be able to be used against anybody else. Or one right can't be used to discredit another. I probably could be fucking way off on that one. All right, number 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. This one is very interesting because that is basically saying that if it's not already outlined by the federal government, or if the federal government doesn't want to make a dictation outside of what the state does, then it can be allowed. So, for example, currently marijuana federally is still illegal, as I understand, but there are about 13 states who have presented the proper processes for it, that the federal government is comfortable with it more or less being legal. Yeah, Dan, but with bail, if you go to jail, your bail goes towards any sort of restitution or fines that you have to pay, so it's not always a waste. But what was I saying? Where we're at? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's the best I can understand. That if it's not something already outlined by the federal government or the Constitution, the states have the right to make their decision on what they want to do about it. That's why you have voting laws in one state and different voting laws in another state. You have sanctuary laws in one state, different sanctuary laws in another state. And technically, the federal government, unless it's outlined by the Constitution, is not allowed to make a final dictation on that. One perfect example is people talked about why did Trump drag his feet on calling the National Guards during the riots last year? Well, because he tried to allow the states to, there's two ends to it. Obviously, I'll get the first one that people are going to point out. Well, because he didn't want to fucking dirty his hands on it. He didn't want to deal with the backlash in social media. And why the fuck should he? Guy couldn't do right. He could shit fucking gold fucking bricks and people would still fucking bitch about it. But I digress. The other reason is, at least as far as he clearly stated, is that the states should have the final authority in deploying troops into their individual states and how it's going to affect the people within them. So, take that one how you want. No, it's not a waste for the person on trial because the money that you put up towards bail goes towards that shit. Anyway. Bail, also, I don't want to keep talking about bail. Bail is also supposed to be a good faith payment saying that you're going to come back. It's part of that agreement. All right. Where are we up? 211. The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in the law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens of any foreign state. I don't know. Sounds like another one where you gotta be a fucking lawyer to understand that one, because that sounds like, I don't know if that's partly pertaining to, political immunity to some extent, or people in the United States being held responsible for something that they did in the United States, but it being a crime in another state. I don't really know exactly. That one kind of fucking exceeds me there. All right, we're up to 12. The electors shall meet in their respective state. Oh my God, that one is long. Holy fuck. All right. Holy hell, I don't know if I'll read all the fucking numbers. 12. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for president and vice president, one of whom at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves. They shall name in their ballots the person voted for president. That's interesting. So that's saying that if you live in the same state as both, you can only vote on one, or you can only live in the same state as one. I don't know. That would really kind of muddy shit up when it comes to the electorate. I'm just going to fucking go right past that one. All right, what are we up to? 13. Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to that jurisdiction. Now, that's a very interesting one, because anybody who's had family in prison or been in prison themselves or jail, you would understand that sometimes you're given the option to work, sometimes you're forced to work. I would go as far to say that would almost constitute slavery, and this is saying that, hey, it's okay if they've been convicted and tried of a crime and they're going to be in jail or detained. That's just fucking interesting, but when people talk about how the 13th Amendment was meant to abolish slavery, that's part of what they're talking about there. Section 2. Congress shall have no power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So that was basically saying that Congress has the right, obviously, to make sure that those are followed. And then that's where it gets real fuzzy with redlining and Jim Crow laws and things of that nature. One through line that I see with Jim Crow laws and mask mandates is that the federal government made businesses responsible for forcing citizens to do their bidding. So with Jim Crow laws, you had to have separate bathrooms if you had a business, or you could be shut down. You have to have separate facilities. You had to have 8-foot high walls, much like now, if you don't have face shields, if you don't have, in some places, special cleaning facilities, if you don't have this or that, you can get shut down. And I would just, encourage people to see, aside from all of the variables there, the one constant is the government using their power to force businesses, to force the American people to act the way that they want them to. Why do you think fucking the government loves corporations so much? It's a lot easier to control a giant fucking corporation than it is a small mom and pop shop. Oh, all right. What are we? 14. Holy shit, this is another couple seconds. Oh my goodness. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of the law. Now, the only one I take issue with this one is that they're called, what are they called, border babies? Or I think there's maybe a more PC fucking term for it. But it is very known around the world that if you're in a culture that you find undesirable and you're a pregnant woman, if you're able to either get in forcibly by you breaking the law, or you get in on a work visa and you have the baby here, or anchor baby, there we go, that's what it's fucking called. That's the offensive term I was looking for, anchor baby, because that baby, once it's born in our country, is considered a naturalized citizen at that point. And it creates a lot of social issues, both for politicians and good ratings for the media, to make a big deal about that. Be like, oh, well, this baby's here, they're going to kick the parent out, put the baby in foster care, and ruin that baby's life, or they're going to send both the parent and the baby back. Yeah, like, that's a very touchy subject, but, you know, all I can encourage you to think about is if somebody found some loophole to where they're able to come in, occupy your home, use your resources, use your facilities without any contribution, without any sort of assimilation, that's a fucking issue. That's an issue. That's why we have this border crisis right now. That's why there's documented accounts of a kid dug in a hole, found dead because he was trying to fucking stay warm. Children being found walking by themselves. Video of children being dropped over that, that 20-foot border wall as young as 3 and 4 years old, being dropped over that fucking wall. You know, like, it's very... If this is why I'd like to see the media and maybe the government meet on the middle ground of that. If the issue is as bad as they say it is, if it's as dire as it is there, where we need to have children stacked basically on top of each other like fucking sardines in these border encampments, then we need to go to the fucking source of the problem. We need to mount a military effort to make it to where the conditions that these people are living in does not cause their parents to send them with unknown adults across vast amount of the desert to be dropped over a fucking wall. And if I'm racist for saying that, please fucking tell me how. I might be able to, you know, accept somebody's point of view if they could actually articulate what about that is actually fucking racist. Hear it plenty, just don't hear the fucking. I don't know. I don't hear people telling me why. You know, I can understand caring for human life and dignity and everything like that. I completely understand it. Well,